What you're seeing are comments that pretty much every man that goes to the gym expects or wants, right? Women thirsting over them, compliments from other dudes, respect, shit like that. But most guys tend to not really do that well, with getting this type of sex appeal. And that just in general comes down to the way most men train, right? More specifically, you have to train a certain way to acquire a certain body type that attracts the opposite sex, right? And the body type that I'm referring to that will get the most attraction from the opposite sex is the V-taper. The V-taper is essentially when your body is so well proportioned as a man that it creates this V shape that tapers down. So you have such wide shoulders, wide back, and then a slim waist. And that's what it's comprised of. It's comprised of, more specifically, very strong lateral delts, the side delt of your shoulder, your traps, your lats, and having good ab development and a low body fat. Now, while most well-rounded routines will develop your V-taper in some way, there are some pointers that I can give you that will help you speed up the process and help you waste no time. So let's get right into it. The first and probably most important tip is when you train your back, you need to bias your lats. There are two ways that you bias your back training. You bias it through wideness, which is your lats, and through thickness, which is your upper back. But when developing that V-taper, in order to create that look, you need to develop the wideness of your back. So prioritizing the width of your back through lat-biased movements, you get a much better V-taper. So if you have maybe 3 back exercises, 2 of them could be for your lats and then 1 could be for your upper back, or all 3 of them could be for your lats and then just 2 sets could be for your upper back. It doesn't matter. I'm going to show a video of how you want to train your back. This is how you bias your lats so you can get more out of your V-taper. All right. So, what about I noticed the beard. Anyway, this is how you want to do it, right? I'll show you from the front. So, whereas in most people's back movements, they'll kind of flare their elbows out because it's just naturally the most comfortable. Tuck your arms, like your elbows, into your sides. Bring them down as low as you can. And this is when performing any back exercises, right? And you want to drag. You kind of want to minimize this kind of motion when you're doing your back exercises and just pull like this. And you'll see. So, not like this. You bring it down to the side and then you drag. Your elbow should be the first thing that's like really moving. It's like what you should mainly be focused on moving when you're doing your back exercises, when you want to bias your lats. So, yeah. All right, this next tip is kind of overlooked and probably going to be slightly controversial, but it's very necessary. So, since one of the most defining things of a V-taper physique is your waist, there should be an emphasis on cardio and balancing your diet, right? But it goes a little further than this. You want to watch how often you're bulking because your body, when you put on mass on your body, it has to compensate and put the mass on everywhere. What am I getting at? You're going to put mass on your waist. So if you're one of those dudes who's always bulking and just gaining muscle, yeah, you're getting bigger, but you're also getting incredibly blocky, bro. So I would say either always, if you're going to bulk, make sure it is a very cleanly bulk where you're still doing a lot of cardio, or just do not do the dirty bulks or bulk at all. Like, do a slow main game process. A V-taper physique is not one of these physiques where you can just lift heavy, eat a bunch, train optimally. No, it is a physique that comes from conditioning. So doing a lot of body weight movements, progressively overloading, doing your cardio, having those exercises like lunges that condition you as well, right? So I would say you need to be doing cardio bare minimum every other day or every day. Balance your carb out. So as the day progresses on, you want to slowly lower your carbs or just switch it to healthy carbs. This is how you're going to keep your waist very slim despite getting very big arms and shoulders. This is how I've kept my waist slim despite me having probably around 18 to 19-inch arms with only 3 years of training naturally. So you want to be doing a lot of cardio, balancing your meals out. And if you are bulking, make sure you lean bulk. Do not dirty bulk, and do not rush to put on mass the fastest. Rushing to put on mass the fastest is exactly how you're going to end up with a blocky physique and the opposite of a V-taper physique. So a V-taper physique, which is the most attractive physique to women, is the one that takes the most discipline. It is the slowest grind, but it is the most worth it. Within 1 to 3 years, you'll already have a very noticeable attractive physique, just like I have. So keep those things in mind. You do not want to train like a typical bodybuilder. This is very important. So just make sure you watch your meals, you do your cardio, you have very good calisthenic movements, and things of that nature. Now, for this third tip, it's really a plethora of tips, right? It's just how you want to do your shoulder training. So let me break it down. For the V-taper, the most important delt is the lateral delt, which is the side delt. The easiest and most simple way to hit this is through a lateral raise, whether you want to do a cable raise, a dumbbell raise, or a machine one. I personally like the machine one the most because it really burns the lateral delt, but any of those three for suffice. Now for your front delt, because every part of the shoulder is important, it's just that the lateral delt is the most important. But for the front delts, you want to have a military press, and you want to be someone that does a lot of incline pressing movements. Like if you're going to have 3 chest movements, make sure 2 of them are incline and then 1 is dedicated to flat. Basically, you want to do a lot of upper chest bias training because it'll hit your front delts more. And it's why my front delts and my side delts and my rear delts are so symmetrical. So make sure you do a lot of incline movements, and you'll get a lot of like extra front delt volume. And then third, you do not want to skip your rear delts. You want to hit your rear delts very well and very intensely. So something like a reverse pec deck or a supported bench fly or a cable fly, reverse fly, is good. You need this to be developed because this completes the fullness look from the front and the side. So both of these contribute to your V-taper. So yeah, just knowing how to hit each delt, these little pointers will help you get well-developed delts in general. And your delts are the second most important thing for having the V-taper, right after your back. Also, for your traps, it's very simple. I would say if your gym has like a hexagon bar, you can do it. Or if it has one of those plate-loaded tricep push-down machines or dip push-down machines, you can hold it by the plates and do shrugs, and those feel amazing. Or you could just do dumbbell shrugs. But make sure you do those high reps. Do those high reps, do all your fly movements, high reps, and your traps will become amazing. That's like the next thing right after your delts. That's important for your V-taper. So just one good trap exercise like that and you're good. Now, this next tip is a very uncommon one. I don't hear a lot of gym rats talking about, but it is to incorporate stretching, daily stretching. What stretching does, it essentially makes you a little bit taller if you do it consistently and can slightly change your body measurements. Now, there isn't much like research on this, and this is very anecdotal, but over the last couple of months, I've been looking at a lot of people who've done stretching. I've been speaking with people who have stretched a lot, just doing general research on people who've tried it. And 9 times out of 10, when they're consistent for 3 to 6 months, they end up gaining like 2 inches of height, which is important. Not because the height itself directly impacts the V-taper, but it's because it also changes the measurements of their body. Like one of the girls, and I'll link her video in the comments or the description, she got around 1.25 inches taller and probably got even more taller but didn't continue. But she also gained or lost 1 inch off her waist. And as I said, this is very anecdotal, but I've been looking at a lot of people's videos who stretched, and they 100% did look different and did get taller. And this is not just from them improving their posture, but this is from the fact that gravity compresses us over time, hence why we get shorter. But when you stretch, you gain what gravity has taken away from us, which is 1 inch or 2 for most people. And being taller does help your V-taper too. It just helps it look a little better. So yes, I would recommend everyone find a 10 to 15 stretching routine in the morning, right? 10 to 15 minutes. Then at night, just do a couple sets of dead hangs. And over like a period of 3 to 6 months, you should be a little taller. And you'll probably have lost some like an inch or two off your waist. So I implore you to try that too. It will definitely help. And there you have it, guys. Those are just a few tips that'll help you speed up your V-taper process, right? You follow these, incorporate them, you won't even have to think about them after like a month or two. You just incorporate them, you'll see a huge difference. But since my Instagram is blowing up, I was thinking about once I hit 50K followers, right, just dropping a full program. It would have like a routine for women that want a curvy body, and then the V-taper routine, it would include my routine, and then a bodybuilder routine. It would have eating, and then I might include some other self-improvement things as well. So if y'all guys like want that, which I'm gonna drop it regardless, but like if you want to get a heads up on that shit, follow my Instagram, please help me.